السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد إن شاء الله عز وجل, one of the إخوة had some questions that he wanted to ask about our manhaj and about Shaykh Muhammad ibn Shamsuddin and about the entire issue of Al-Nawawi and so on. And I thought it would be a good idea to uh, have a recording of this, so that then if someone else asks me about this thing, then inshallah azza wa jal, we can just send him this, and then inshallah azza wa jal, the issue will be cleared for him. Now, I actually spoke about the entire issue of Nawawi. It was actually the first video on my channel. It was the first video that I ever uploaded to my channel. It was over by the title of about those who defend an-Nawawi and their akhlaq. And in that audio, I basically went through. Of course, I'm going to forget some of the things that I said there because it's been a long time, but I basically went a little about into those who defend an-Nawawi and how they attack us and so on. And also in my series of exposing the Asha'ira, I also deeply went into this. And as you guys know, my series of exposing the Asha'ira is not just against the Asha'ira, but it's generally the Asha'ira and the Mu'tazila and the Jahmiya, and as well against those who love the Asha'ira and who defend them and so on. And inshallah azza wa jal, that will still that series will still continue يعني بإذن الله عز وجل. طيب, now inshallah ta'ala, if you want to start, brother, تفضل.
You ask me.
ايش؟
You're asking me.
نعم نعم.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. So I would say the first question is that Sheikh Fauzan, and obviously we have Sheikh Usman Khamis also praising Al Nawawi and saying he's from the Imams, and no one uh, refutes that and everything. And we do know that from the Ibn Taymiyyah or other scholars also refuted their bid'ah and their arguments, but they also praised them. So, what's the position of Ahl Sunnah on him and on Nawawi, that is, and what is the defense against slander of Sheikh Muhammad Shamsuddin?
طيب, so I'm going to split this into two parts. So first of all, about praising or speaking bad about an-Nawawi or Ibn Hajar or these types of people. And the other part would be when you asked at the end about why people praise them. So the first thing about us is, why do we speak bad, if you could say it in this way? Why do we respond to them? Why do we mention to people that they have mistakes and so on? So a lot of people, they have a wrong understanding about this issue. And in short, if we look at, as an example, sayings of Sheikh Ibn Baz or Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen or Sheikh Ibn Jibreen or so, right? We will see that they would respond to and clarify the issues that these types of people said. And this is just about those people with يعني, the types of or the names of the people that we are speaking about. But we need to understand this issue, or we need to see this issue as more than just a name. Now, uh, when we speak about the tabdi' of an-Nawawi and so, right? We need to remove the issue from just being about an-Nawawi or about or about Ibn Hajar or about a Suyuti or so. We need to look at the broader uh, picture of this being, يعني, that these are ashar. So we need to see how the scholars dealt with the ashar. Now, some people, before we go to that, some people say what? Say that they were not asha'ira aslan. And these people, they are, I would say, two groups. Yani. The first one, they say that they were asha'ira and then they repented from that before they died. And this is groups like Sheikh Salih al-Usaymi. He says this. And basically, these people, they build it on what? On that they repented before they died. Now, of course, let's take as an example Nawawi, which is the one where Sheikh Saleh he basically said that he يعني, wrote a book before he died in which he came back to the beliefs of so Nawawi now, when we actually go and look at that book where they say that he came back to the Sunnah, we will find that number one, the book, I honestly don't recall exactly why, but in short, the book is falsely attributed to him, which means that he didn't that he was not even the person who authored that. طيب? And second of all, even if he was the one who authored it, then the book itself, it was not the aqidah of Ahl Sunnah, but it was the aqidah of the Salimiyya, and they are better than the Ash'ara in some aspects, but they're still, of course, not Sunnis. يعني. طيب. Uh, طيب. And then there is the second group who they say that an-Nawawi and those types of people, they are not Ash'ara because either they say that they يعني did ijtihad, or they say that that the amount of mistakes that they did were small, يعني, and because of that they are excused. And the most famous in this with this saying would be Uthman al-Khamis, Walid al-Sa'adan, uh, Abu Umar al-Bahith, and يعني most of the people who respond to Sheikh Muhammad on a general or يعني at a large scale. يعني. Of course, there's also a group of those who respond to the Sheikh who respond to him because they actually are Ash'ara. Of course, that group we don't care about them. But these people who respond to him because he because they say that النووي so as we said, some say that they were not Ash'ara because they did because they did the اجتهاد يعني, and because of that, even if we say that they are wrong, then they are still يعني, we can still not say that they are Ash'ari. Now, about these people, we say that there is no ijtihad in Aqidah. The ijtihad is what is in al-ahkam, يعني in fiqh. طيب يعني now, and a lot of times they take as an example the hadith of the now, where the Sahaba, طيب, they were going on a trip to Banu Qurayza, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them not to pray Salatul Asr until they يعني arrive there, right? So when they were on the way, they realized that they would not be there in time to or before sunset يعني. So then they split into two groups. A group said that we will pray now, and when the Prophet he told us that we shouldn't pray until we arrive that, he said that to make us go faster. طيب. And the second group, they said that no, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that we shouldn't pray it until we are there. So they didn't pray, and then when they arrived there, then they prayed it after its time. So when they went back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they asked him about this, and he said that يعني that both of them are fine طيب, and both of these groups they يعني built it on their or on what they understood from the speech of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam طيب. so 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 they come and compare that to what an-Nawawi or so do in Aqidah. However, this issue here, these these are issues in fiqh and not in Aqidah. طيب. So having a difference of of opinion in issues in fiqh, this is a thing which يعني we cannot stop. طيب. Maybe you see this hadith as يعني authentic, and I see it as weak, and so on. طيب. And as long both sayings were practiced at the time of the Salaf, then inshallah Azza wa Jal, it is okay. يعني. طيب. And if you have knowledge, you should try to find out the truth and then act up upon that. And if you don't have knowledge, then you should يعني follow the Shaykh who you يعني who you trust يعني, right? But in Aqidah, this يعني this cannot be. And in fact, the idea of applying this to Aqidah came يعني through some groups of people, like ايش اسمه هذا الافغاني سبحان الله شمس الدين الأفغاني, and the other guy who was with him, and of course before them like Al-Kawthari and all of these kuffar يعني. Basically these groups or they basically introduced this idea of aqidah being a minor issue. طيب. And basically this is what later يعني turned into the sect of the Ikhwan and so on. So basically these groups of people, they treat issues in aqidah like they treat issues in fiqh. And of course then from there on we يعني groups formed like the Ikhwan, and then from the Ikhwan came the Sururiyya and so on. And Uthman Khamis, يعني I wouldn't say he is a Sururi, but he's definitely affected by them to a large degree. Regardless of that, so this is where the mistake came. And when we look at the speech of the Salaf, they very clearly said that we cannot make ijtihad in the issues in Aqidah. And Ibn Manda said in Kitab here, this is the print of Dar al-Fadila, page number 439. Or he said, yeah, and he basically spoke about this issue, and then he said that there is no ijtihad in Aqidah, and there is no excuse for the one who uh, made a mistake basically in the sifat of Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب. And of course, this issue that there's no excuse, of course, there could be an excuse in some context. طيب. يعني now, as an example, and I've spoken about this before as well in my audio by the title of Nawawi and Ibn Hajar Jahmis, where I was responding to I don't know the guy's name, Dawood Burki or something. He basically said that they were Ash'ara, but they are not Jahmis yet. So in that one, I spoke about I spoke about this entire issue, and when someone who makes a mistake in aqidah can be excused and when not, and so on. However, here, just so we don't go too long, I will say basically that you cannot do this. The type of An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar and these people, they don't fall under the category of being the ones who we excuse because they made a minor mistake in Aqidah or so. In fact, if we look through their books and we read and we collect all of the issues that or that they fell into mistakes in, we will get to realize that their entire way is the way of the Ash'ari. So they definitely are considered Ash'ari. طيب. Um, so now going back to those who say that they are not Ash'ari because they did ijtihad and so on. And I also here I also want to go into this issue of saying that they are excused for their ignorance. طيب. This is also something that some people say. Basically, can we say that they're excused for ignorance for the issues that they fell into? Now, generally, there's a difference of opinion amongst the scholars on which things you can excuse for ignorance in. طيب. But generally, we don't even need to speak about that because you literally say that An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar are scholars. And you always say, look, يعني Ibn Hajar explains Sahih al-Bukhari and An-Nawawi explains Sahih Muslim. How can someone who has so much knowledge to explain literally the most two important books in Islam after the speech of Allah Azza wa Jal, how can we say about them that they are excused for ignorance in the foundations of Islam? طيب. So just so you know how insane this is to say, you are legit saying that a Nawawi is is a jahil and one of the biggest scholars at the same time. طيب. So how can you put this? I don't know. This is like, saying my college teacher, he is the best college teacher, but he also said that 1 plus 1 is 6. طيب, how? يعني if he is that dumb so that he doesn't know 1 plus 1, which is like the easiest thing, then how can I trust him with, complex things? So this is kind of the same thing, right? If someone is that big of a jahil to make mistakes uh in uh, in tawheed, طيب, then how can we trust him, or then how can we say that he is such a big scholar when it comes to that he explained the books of the ahadith, yeah. طيب. And then of course, some might say, طيب, affirming these صفات for Allah Azza wa Jal, this is not really a issue of Tawheed. ما هو يا حبيبي, when we study like ثلاثة الأصول or كتاب التوحيد or القواعد الأربعة or so, literally the first thing that we take is that Tawheed is three types: Tawheed al-Uluhiyya, and Tawheed al-Rububiyya, and Tawheed al-Asma' wal-Sifat. Tawheed al-Asma' wal-Sifat. And one thing I will say is that you'll find in this group that says that the Nawawi ibn Hajar, they are excused for their ignorance and so. One thing you'll find a lot of times in this group is that they will actually also have big issues in excusing someone for ignorance in in Tawheed al in Tawheed الألوهية. طيب, like مصطفى العدوي and Uthman al-Khamis, and of course don't let me get started on the يعني Abu Omar al-Bahith and all of these people. And by the way, the people who respond to the Shaykh the most, like Abu Omar al-Bahith and Hassan al-Husseini and so, 96% of them are Ikhwan. طيب. Like we said before, the Ikhwan build their beliefs on that Aqidah and fiqh are the same, or that we can excuse in Aqidah just as we can excuse in fiqh. And this is why nowadays even some of them came and said that if someone was to prostrate to a grave or so, or if someone was to call out to other than Allah, yes, it is shirk, but he is excused and so on, right? نعم. طيب. And then what was the other issue? Subhanallah. Um, uh, uh, you asked about هذا, about you. Sorry, first you
the
asked about the
the
ones
speech of
who
yeah, no. So the second was about the saying of Sheikh Al Fawzan and others that they are from Ahl Sunnah and everything.
طيب نعم okay. So when we see that a group of people, some of course not big in knowledge, and some like great scholars like Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan and so, when we see that they praise An-Nawawi or so, what do they build that on? So now I don't want to really mention a name when we go through this, but as I said before, it could be number one that he is building this on the fact that on the fact that he believes that they left the Ash'ari creed before they before they died, right? As we said, like Sheikh Salih al-Usaymi يعني. طيب. Um, and these groups of people يعني, he's basing the fact that he is praising him off the fact that he believes that he died on the correct way. So this group يعني, of course he is wrong in not checking um, if the re- if the book that was attributed to him is authentic. But even then, we say that يعني, he's definitely a lot better than everyone else. طيب, or than 99% of the others who disagree with us in this. Uh, and then there's also, as we said, the group who base it basically off of false base. يعني their usul are false, their foundations are false, like the ones that we said, the sururis or so, who basically say that aqidah and fiqh are the same thing, and this is why they don't give that big of a value to that, right? So this is why they or this is why it is easy for them to say, like, they just make mistakes, and it is not that big of a deal and so on, right? Because in the end, to them, there is no issue when you make a mistake in aqidah. So it is to those people just as like when you make a mistake in fiqh. And another group of people are those who go with the flow. يعني, he just says that he doesn't speak good. Uh, sorry, he doesn't speak bad about him because he doesn't want people to accuse him of being a follower of Muhammad ibn Shamsuddin, or of يعني al-Khlafi or so. طيب. And the fourth group of people talk. You correct that uh, I'm sorry, my sound cut off. I was saying that نعم.
Just 1 second. I we couldn't hear the last two. I think 1 minute
نعم
or
نعم طيب.
something.
So I said that there are some people who
Yeah.
they basically they build this on نعم, they teach the correct aqidah, but they don't really want to speak about this issue because they don't want to get into it. They don't want to get people to come and tell them, wow, you يعني are يعني حدادis and so on, right? And then there's a group of people, and these are pretty bad, which are basically the group of people who are like, I will speak good about An-Nawawi and speak truthfully about him in a good way, but I will not say that which is bad in him. So this basically the group that, like, he comes to you and says, well, and Nawawi, he has a lot of books, and Riyadh al-Salihin, he collected the ahadith, and it is a book that you can benefit from and so on. And his sharh on Sahih Muslim is good And yes, there are mistakes in it, but every book has mistakes and so on. But the book is good and so all of this is correct, right? يعني you can definitely benefit from his sharh. طيب. But then also saying that there are mistakes, but every book has mistakes. Yes, there definitely are mistakes in it. And yes, every book has issues. طيب. Every book that is يعني not is يعني by the is written يعني. So uh because of that they didn't actually say anything wrong, but they didn't give you the full truth, which is that these things that he just said that they are just quote unquote mistakes, they're not just that. They are a lot worse than that. They are full on denying that which the Salaf said that the one who denies that he is a kafir. طيب. And this is the entire reason why the Shaykh went into this aslan. If you go back, as an example, Sheikh Muhammad 3 or 4 years ago, he explained the he explained the kitab al-iman of Abi Ubaid al-Qasim ibn Salam. And in that sharh, the Sheikh, he clearly said he was responding to those who say that An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar are Ash'ara, and to those Haddadis who make tabdir of them. So what changed? What changed is that the Sheikh realized, and we don't need to go into, personally how the Sheikh understood this and so on, but in short, the Sheikh realized that, oh, what they did is not just mistakes. And he realized this at a large part through being exposed more to the sayings of the Salaf in these issues that these Ash'ara fell into issues in, or يعني made quote unquote mistakes in, right? So when we see An-Nawawi saying XYZ, and Imam Ahmad saying the one who says XYZ is a kafir, then how will I ever be able to read the book of An-Nawawi in a normal way? And there is no real scholar who doesn't deny this. There's no real scholar, whether it is Sheikh Al-Fawzan or Imam or Imam Ibn Baz or Sheikh Abdul Karim Al-Ghdayr or any of these great scholars, they are never going to deny that An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar and As-Suyuti and As-Sakhawi and yani these groups that they said the sayings of the Ash'ara. Why? Because they have read what they said, and they know that these are the sayings of the Ash'ara, and they know that the Salaf takfired those who said these issues. But at the larger scale, it's not the people who are responding to Sheikh Muhammad are of two groups. One of them is the Jahil, or the one whose manhaj consists of that he says what يعني that he says that which he says, which is like, as we said, those who say that the issues of aqidah we can excuse in them, like the issues of fiqh and so on, right? So this group, our talk with them shouldn't be.
You cut off, I think, again, bro.
طيب, I'm sorry, I'm having some issues with my Wi-Fi. I
All good.
keep نعم.
La bas. Okay.
طيب.
La bas.
So what was the last thing you heard?
That they have problems and everything, and you were telling about how their sheikhs also read their books and everything. They don't deny stuff
نعم نعم
about their
طيب.
mistakes, etc.
So
Yeah.
then we said that the people who respond to them, or who respond to us, respond to Sheikh Muhammad or Sheikh Al-Ifi or so, they are of two types. The first type is the type who they they يعني the way that they think makes them say that wallahi look, uh, we يعني there النووي is excused and he is a mujtahid and so on. And the other one is the one who hears his speech, hears his lies against us or against the sheikh, and then he builds upon that without making sure of it. And Uthman Khamis himself, he clearly said this. He clearly said some things against us, like that we burn Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Yani he actually said that we burn Tafsir Ibn Kathir, which is insane to say. Yani, I think you like even have it, right?
I don't think. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course I have it. I
So,
don't
so
think
it's
I've
like,
heard
yeah.
that. That's actually crazy, bro. For
Yeah,
what?
so
Yo.
Uthman Khamis, basically what occurred is that one guy who responds to us, to us, or who responds to the sheikh, he basically, so that guy, he is like an extremist khariji, but he also has the ideology of we can excuse in fiqh, sorry, we can excuse in aqidah as we do in fiqh. So that guy, he saw Sheikh Muhammad burning a book. Now that book was a book of magic. So it was a Shi'i book of magic. So the Sheikh bought it to respond to it, and then of course after that he burned it, يعني, because it's a book of يعني, right? So then that guy came and he said that this was tafsir Ibn Kathir and so on, and that we يعني burn it and so on. طيب. ف then apparently someone, and I'm 99% sure I know who, because as you probably know, I used to be a student of Sheikh, or of Sheikh Uthman al Khamis, so I'm 99% sure I
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
know.
so I'm actually 99% sure I know who the guy was who showed him that. But of course I'm not gonna say any. But basically he showed him that because he fell for it, and then the Sheikh, out of rage, like out of disbelief to how someone could even do this, he went and he responded to that. And by the way, this shows that the Sheikh built upon various things that he didn't understand. Now, Sheikh Uthman's speech about us was kind of a mix of both. It was a mix of not making sure that what he heard about us was correct, and a mix of his manhaj in dealing with mistakes in aqidah is not 100% correct. So it was a mix of both for uh, for for Uthman al-Khamisi. Regardless of that, before I just end responding to this question, which يعني has taken a long time, but I felt that it was needed to give this. I just want to mention one more thing, which is that you'll find when you go back to the actual real scholars, who يعني who do I mean when we say the actual real, or let's say the actual real con- contemporary uh, s- scholars. When I say the real contemporary scholars, what may come to your mind is like Walid al-Sa'adan, Uthman al-Khamis, these types of people. These people are not scholars. Yani, yes, are. They have knowledge in fiqh and in qaid al-fiqhiyya and in usul al-fiqh. Some of the names we mentioned are more knowledgeable than others based on what I've seen or so. But when I say the real scholars, I mean Ibn Baz, Ibn Jibrin, uh, Ibn Uthaymeen, Salih al-Fawzan, uh, عبد الكريم الخضير، عبد الرحمن البراك. طيب. And you know what is insane to think about? That actually, wait, I'm gonna try to find this book because
Can I just interrupt you for a
نعم
second?
نعم تفضل.
What do you think about Sheikh Rohel?
والله we could. keep that for another day because this will
Okay.
be
Okay.
pretty long
Yeah.
to
Okay.
mention. But basically, so
Just
yeah,
give it
here,
in a brief, just in one line.
wallah, he has issues, yeah.
Okay. I see.
Uh, يعني he has issues, but some of his classes would be good for the one who knows his issues and can stay away from them. Especially his classes in هذا in أصول الفقه. طيب, so here I have a book that is basically a book by the real scholars. This is a book.
You can screen share.
No, I'm gonna show you actually. So this this book is called التنبيه على المخالفات العقدية في فتح الباري. طيب. Now this is basically
Refutation of
showing.
mistakes in that or something?
نعم.
In
So
Fath
he
al-Bari?
so
Yeah,
yeah,
easy.
نعم. So they are basically showing mistakes in that Ibn Hajar made in Fath al-Bari, and these scholars are responding to these mistakes. Now, of course, some names on this are, of course, uh, who I like to call the most knowledgeable scholar of our time, Sheikh Abdul Aziz Ibn Baz, rahimahullah, and also has commentary from Sheikh uh, Abdullah al and Sheikh Salih al Fawzan and Sheikh uh, Abdullah ibn Manir and Sheikh Abdullah ibn Aqil and so on. And of course, the book itself is by Sheikh Ali al-Shibl. طيب. And so basically, why did I bring this book up? Because this book is a one-on-one copy of what Sheikh Muhammad did uh, to the Sharh of Sahih Muslim of an Nawawi. And this is literally the only difference between these two books is three things. Number one, that one is about an Ibn Hajar, and one is about an Nawawi. Number two, that um, that this that Sheikh Muhammad, he responded from his sorry, that these, or that this scholar, he collected the sayings of the scholars, he collected the sayings of the contemporary scholars. طيب. And Sheikh Muhammad, he used the words of the Salaf. And number three, that Sheikh Muhammad, what was the last one I thought about? SubhanAllah. That Sheikh Muhammad, when he responded to An-Nawawi, he, SubhanAllah. Wait.
You can skip it, it's fine.
يعني, in short, that basically there is no difference in the idea of these two books. One is against uh, Ibn Hajar, and the other one is against Al-Nawawi. So my question to those who respond to Sheikh Muhammad or Sheikh Al-Khalafi, or even those who respond to me, and yes, I'm of course I'm not trying to put my name with the name of Sheikh Muhammad, or Sheikh Al-Khalafi. So, but me myself, with my very small following, uh, I've literally had people comment on my videos like, why do you takfir al-Juwayni or so, right? So, uh, my question to these groups of people are, why, when Ibn Baz and Ibn Aqil and Al-Fawzan and Ghunayman and Shibl and Ibn Manir, and of course Al-Barrak, he also has an entire book about the issues in Fath al-Bari. Of course, Al-Barrak, I don't know a lot about his manhaj, so those that يعني believe that he's a deviant or so, don't come and storm me in the comments and say why do you praise Al-Barrak? You know, I just mentioned him because he has a book on the issues in Fath al-Bari as well. But I don't know about his manhaj or so, right? But basically, why, when these big scholars wrote against these people, no one said a thing. In fact, they praised these books and they printed them. Yani, until this day, the prints that are printed by for Fath al-Bari, they have in the footnotes the corrections of these scholars on the issues where Ibn Hajar he يعني if it's a small mistake or if it's straight up kufr or so on, right? So even the new prints that we have nowadays of this book, they correct the issues that he put in it. So my question is this really a as they say defending a Nawawi, or is this attacking the Shaykh, right? Because I myself would believe if Ibn Baz and Ibn Aqil and Al Fawzan and these people and these big scholars, if they were the ones who responded to an يعني if we now came and we took the book of Sheikh Muhammad where he responds to An-Nawawi and the issues of him and so on, and we put on the cover the name of Salih al-Fawzan and Ibn Baz. So of course don't do that because that would be a lie يعني. But if we would do that, then I wouldn't build then I would believe that the way that this book would be accepted by people wouldn't be the same. So basically Sheikh Muhammad he did the exact same thing like what was done here, but for an-Nawawi. And as we said, he mentioned the sayings of the Salaf. He didn't, which is even more insane to think about. Wallahi al-Azim. The book of Shaykh, the book of the Shaykh, he brings to you the speech of an-Nawawi. أيوة نعم. The third difference between between this response to Ibn Hajar and the response of the Sheikh is that they only built this book on Fath al-Bari, and the Sheikh built it on basically all of the books of An-Nawawi, even his books in fiqh and so on. uh, طيب. So uh, the Sheikh Ibn Baz, Fawzan al-Ghneman, and all of these scholars, when they wrote this book, they responded with their own speech to the deviance of Ibn Hajar and so. The Sheikh, he brought the speech of Ahmad, he brought the speech of Shafi'i, he brought the speech of Sufyan Ath-Thauri and so on. So, and he just wrote above that, An-Nawawi said, and then he brought from his book. And said X, Y, Z. Under that, Ahmed said the one who says X, Y, Z is a kafir. بس. The Sheikh didn't do anything else. Wallahi al-Azim, I'm gonna tell you, most of the people who respond to him, they have not read this book. They 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 don't even know the place where this came from. But now we said the Sheikh, how how did the Sheikh go from saying that An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar are mujtahideen and responding to the so-called Haddadis who, you know, say that they are Asha'ira? How did he go from that to writing a book against them? The reason is, as we said, because he saw that they were wrong, and he saw that they were Asha'ira, and he saw the sayings of the Salaf in those who said that which they said. طيب. Again, I don't want to go into details because this is kind of private stuff of how he got there, uh, or who told him about that. But basically, some mashayikh, they spoke to him and they showed him that, uh, Nawawi and Ibn Hajar and these people, they said this and the Salaf said this. So the Sheikh, of course, uh, al- Alhamdulillah, he took their their نصيحة. And he now knows that An-Nawawi is an Ash'ari. And An-Nawawi said A, B, C, and the Salaf takfired the one who said A, B, C. Very simple. And this is why I encourage anyone to actually go and read the book. You know, can you please just take a look at it. And by the way, this book is the entire reason why all of this even came to life. طيب. Number two, the Shaykh then wrote this book to warn people against the deviance of An-Nawawi. طيب. And he wrote this book to show you that this Nawawi guy who you love, he is an Ash'ari. So be careful when you read his book that you don't fall into that issue. Now, why did they then come and call him a Haddadi? And so, because before him came a person called Mahmoud al al Haddad. Yeah, this was a guy from Egypt who studied under some scholars in Saudi and so. But basically, he had a lot of problems, right? Yeah, and he definitely had. Yani, to be honest, yeah, there's not a lot to know about him, about his sayings. But as an example, Sheikh Abd al-Rahman Dimashqiya, if I'm not mistaken, yani, Sheikh al-Khlayfi has an audio about him, Sheikh Muhammad has an audio about him, Sheikh Abd al-Rahman Dimashqi has a few about him. So you could go to them, yani. But I will summarize them here. I've spoken about this before, but basically, uh, to keep it short, Mahmoud Haddad, he had some beliefs that were not correct. From them was that he also warned the people, or not, or of course not from the wrong beliefs, and but he had a lot of extremist, incorrect beliefs. But he also believed in warning people from Ibn Hajar and the Nawawi and saying that they were Ash'ari. And this is why when the Sheikh wrote his book against An-Nawawi, they said that he is a follower of Mahmoud al-Haddad. Now, Mahmoud Haddad himself, he doesn't really have students. He doesn't really teach. There's really basically only like one or two books that we know from him. So basically, everything that we say about him is based upon that which we hear. So, you know, we don't really know the isnad for that which we hear. So some of it might be true, some of it might not be true. So I'm not really going to go into this. But if what I'm trying to say is, if that which we hear about him is true, then he definitely has a lot of issues and a lot of big issues. But of course, he's still a million times better than any Ash'ari, يعني, just to get that straight here. And if he doesn't say that, then يعني, may Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive us. Uh, so this is basically why they said that Sheikh is a Haddadi when he spoke about uh, Ibn Hajar and Nawawi and so on. Yeah, this would basically be a very summarized response to your question. I know it's yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can call an hour response to a question a summarized one, but I really needed to go into the depth of it so you really understand where this entire idea came from, where it stemmed from, where it يعني, or originated, why the people who responded to him in the way that they did, and so on. Yeah. Is there anything else?
Yeah, that's very good. So, what do you think of praising Nawawi and Hajar or Ghazali and all these people like them? Because I think their contribution is good, and in fiqh it is good. Uh, in Akida, of course, they were wrong. We refute the mistakes and everything. So, do we call them from Ahl Sunnah or do we not? Do we like what is it like? What do we
طيب.
say on, or
Okay.
is there one view or is
So,
there multiple views?
طيب. Number one, we can all definitely agree or actually be for that. We need to split between two things. Number one, that I speak good about a person is one thing. Number two, that I speak good about the book of a person is a different thing. Yeah, now some Shi'i can come and write a book about how nice the sky is. So then I come and say, Wallahi, the way he described the sky is so nice. Does that mean that I now agree with everything that he says and that he's a Shi'i? And so, no. طيب? So we need to split because a lot of people don't, yani, they cannot split between these two issues. In some cases, you even see, yani, great scholars of of Islam, like as an example, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He speaks about one person. In one side, he says this guy's a big kafir and he's a mushrik and so on. And then in in a different time, he comes and says, and I gained this from the book of that guy. طيب? Or if you want to learn more ab- about this issue, read the book of that guy. So here we need to understand, number one, who was Shaykh al-Islam. I don't want to make this about Shaykh al-Islam, but just in short. And number two, who were the people who would read his books? Number one, Shaykh al-Islam, he was one of the greatest scholars in Aqidah. يعني of course يعني إن شاء الله عز وجل, but يعني it would be very difficult for him بإذن الله that he finds a mistake in عقيدة and he doesn't know it. طيب? يعني and this becomes very clear, and it becomes very clear to anyone who reads the bigger books of the Shaykh, like بيان تلبيس الجهمية or الأصبهانية or الصفدية or درء التعارض or so, or even the part of جواب الاعتراضات المصرية or so. It becomes very clear to anyone who reads that how much knowledge he actually had in Aqidah. And actually, here is just a benefit on the side. Where did he get that knowledge? He got that knowledge from reading the books of the Salaf, yani, these same books that some people tell you to stay away from and they're not easy and so on. Regardless of that, so when we realize how big of a scholar he was, and especially how much knowledge he had in Aqidah, we can understand why he would sometimes read books in fiqh for an Ash'ari or so, right? Because he already, inshallah, يعني, he will find when there is an issue in it. طيب? This is number one. And here I want to clear up a thing, which is that we never said that you shouldn't read the fiqh books of An-Nawawi or the fiqh books of uh, يعني some of the other Ash'ari, like يعني ابن حقيق العيد or so, right? Why? Because uh, but what we do say is that you shouldn't read them at the start, or you shouldn't read them without a scholar to tell you about the issues in it, because then you could fall into the issue that that Ash'ari put into it while you don't even know. طيب? And Subhana Rabbi, this we have seen with a lot of people, like Uthman Khamis and a lot of other people. And I know this, yani 60% of this, uh, of, of, uh, of this recording is just like going back at Uthman Khamis, I know. But basically, uh, some of the issues that a lot of these contemporary mashayikh, and of course, there's a difference between contemporary scholars and contemporary mashayikh, يعني, just so you know. The scholars are like the actual s- scholars, right? The mashayikh are those who people see like scholars, but they're not really like at the level of Sheikh Salih al Fawzan or so, right? Besides that, we see that they actually, in a very strong way, got affected by a lot of the beliefs of the Asha'ira. That, يعني now, as an example, Abu Ishaq al Huwaini, or no, sorry. Now, as an example, Sheikh al-Bani, نعم, Sheikh al-Albani and Sheikh Rabi', uh, both of them, يعني without a doubt, they, يعني I don't even know if we could put them under the category of the mashayikh. يعني al-Albani, he has some stuff, but especially Sheikh Rabi', طيب, he was a big scholar, especially in the science of hadith and so on. But still, when they read the books of Ibn Hajar, basically there's one issue in Iman and so on, that Sheikh Rabi' and Al Bani, they mentioned in their books that was taken from them. That Ibn Hajar said, and well, they fell into it. Right? And this is what we always warn about, is when we neglect reading the books of the Salaf and we go to the books of the Ash'ar. Me now reading a book of an Ash'ari in fiqh doesn't mean that I'm an Ash'ari. طيب? Even though, and this is also something very important to say, I don't see the need to go and read the book of an Ash'ari in fiqh. There's absolutely zero need for that. There's absolutely zero need to go and read into the books of the Ash'aris in explaining a hadith or so. However, if you're a scholar like Ibn Taymiyyah, who is firm and grounded in the books of the Salaf, يعني والله العظيم, Ibn Taymiyyah and of course Ibn al-Qayyim, they would mention to you the sayings of the Salaf with uh, literally word for word from their from their memorization. Yeah. So this shows you how how much they cared into reading the books of the Salaf and going back to the books of the Salaf and so on. يعني والله العظيم, this is clear to anyone who reads any one of the books of Ibn Taymiyyah, especially like مجموع الفتاوى or درء التعارض or التسعينية, or for those who read books of Ibn al-Qayyim like إغاثة اللهفان or الكافية الشافية. Of course, الكافية الشافية is a poem يعني, but in that poem he mentions about the scholars of the Salaf and what they said, and he tells you to go and read what they said يعني. طيب, or يعني اجتماع الجيوش also, or حاد حاد الأرواح. So this shows you that Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim, they took their knowledge from the same books that these people don't teach. The way they reached this degree in knowledge that they reached was for reading books like Al-Ibana and As-Sunnah of Al-Lalaka'i and Al-Sharia and يعني, right, these books. So then these people who claim that they love Ibn Taymiyyah and they love Ibn al-Qayyim and they follow Ibn Taymiyyah and they follow Ibn al-Qayyim and so on, and then they come and they don't teach these books that literally they took from. يعني they don't teach them, meaning those contemporary mashayikh don't teach the books that they يعني Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim they took from. طيب? So this is the issue. It is going away from the saying from the books of the Salaf and going to the books of the Ash'ar. Uh, so we never said, and this is also one of the things mentioned about Mahmoud al-Haddad that he said that you can never read in the book of An-Nawawi or Ibn Hajar or so. We never said that, but we said that be careful and don't read it unless you know what you're doing, or unless you have a scholar with you that knows what he's doing. And even then, you shouldn't. But then it is less, yeah, right? It is less than inshallah Azza wa Jal, because you will know the mistakes. So if you really need, you could, but still, that shouldn't be the first thing that you go to here. Does that answer your your your
Yeah, bro, that
question?
really does, mashallah. That's a good answer. It's definitely a very thorough one, I would say. And yeah, Jazakallah khair. And then the recording, are you going to post it or something, or how?
نعم إن شاء الله.
Yeah, so let me know the link as well for that, inshallah.
إن شاء الله.
Should I ask the other questions, or is it this just for the yani, this topic?
I'm sorry about that. I was seems my Wi-Fi is still kind of decided to just leave. Basically, so I just wanted to add one more thing before we actually end. Um, so one thing that you'll see a lot of times is, and this is as well in the video that you sent me, which is the video that was uploaded to the channel of that Takfiri guy. Uh, I don't want to say his name on the recording, because then we would have to explain why he's a takfiri and so. But basically, the guy who uploaded the video, or it wasn't him, but his followers, they uploaded the video of where the Shaykh, he said that Nawawi doesn't know Allah Azza wa Jal. So what is the purpose of that clip? The purpose of that clip is to show you that, wow, look, the Sheikh Muhammad, he's so aggressive and he's screaming and he's getting mad and he's saying such very difficult words about a person. Yeah, and you already know that the person who clipped that and who uploaded that clip, when he did that, he didn't want to warn people of the Sheikh. لا يعني he literally, the Sheikh is saying the guy does not know Allah. طيب, now I could come to you, طيب, and say that wallahi, one of my close friends, he doesn't know Allah. He has no idea about Allah, and he lies against Allah, and he does this and this and that. That if you would cut that like that, completely out of context, that would literally sound like I am takfiring my best friend. This is how they would put it to you. But in reality, you don't know that maybe this guy was one of my friends until I realized that he is an atheist, or that he is a Christian or so. So this is the idea that I'm trying to give. It's that when you have clips, when you have recordings of a person saying something, you could make him say anything. I'm not even saying through the use of AI and voice deepfakes and so on. No, but I'm saying basically, when you have clips of a person, you could cut out the parts that you don't like, and this is what a lot of the mushrikeen and the quburiyah, they did with the speech of Sheikh al-Islam and of Ibn al-Qayyim. And so, like, as an example, if we look at the books of the scholars who responded to Dawood ibn Jarjis or Dahlan, or these mushriks at the time of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, who were basically trying to, invite people to shirk, right? They would bring speech of Ibn Taymiyyah and speech of Ibn al-Qayyim, where the way that they cut it out of the context, it makes it seem that they are saying that يعني that what they're saying is what this mushrik guy is saying. But when you actually go back to the book and you read it in the context, you find that the Shaykh, he was responding to that. Or that the Shaykh, he didn't say that and he cut out an important part, right? So now, as an example, if I come to you and say, you know, the Shia that insult the Sahaba, they are bad people. So then you come and say that I said the those Shia that insult the or no, sorry, then you come and say that I said insult the Sahaba. والعياذ بالله. That would show you. So now, did I technically say these three words? Yeah, and yes, these three words came out of my mouth, يعني, but not in the way that you are saying, right? So this is exactly what the mushrikeen did at the time of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and this is what these people are doing now with the Ash'ari. And now it's even worse. Yani now they literally make up things that are not there. I know this example is kind of out of the topic, but there was one of the guys who loves Abu Hanifa. He basically wanted to respond to us because we, say that the Salaf said that Abu Hanifa is, not good and so on. So he said that Imam Ahmad said Abu Hanifa is a great scholar. And and below that, he put a quote to a book which is literally against Abu Hanifa, which is insane. And of course, I read the book. There's nothing in it that even comes even close to what they're trying to say, right? So the idea is that these people, they don't even care to straight out lie or straight out cut out things out of context. Um, so yeah, and this is what we see a lot of times. Actually, this Hamza sent it to me. Hamza Awad, the brother from Egypt, he sent this to me. He said, كتاب السنة لعبد الله بن أحمد قال سألت أبي عن أبي حنيفة فقال كان رجلا من أهل العلم. This is insane, right? This is absolutely insane. So when you look at these types of things, you realize how far these people go to lie. And this is why the Shaykh said, يعني, may Allah curse a deen that is not that you cannot defend except with lies. Because this is what they did. They have to lie. And I spoke about this in the first ever video uploaded, ever video I uploaded on my channel. It's not the first video I published because there was one before, which was the sharh of the Athar of Mu'adh. But the one, where the exposing the akhlaq of those who defend Nawawi in that one. So I said these people, they went so far, they attacked the Sheikh personally. They leaked his phone number, they leaked his address, they attacked his wife, they threatened his kids, and so on. So, يعني, me as someone who sees that Ash'ara are not good people, or that Shia are not good people, or that Christians are not good people, when I come and speak to a Christian or an Ash'ari or an atheist or any type of person that I disagree with in an issue of the deen, do you think I would go and, يعني, as an example now, go to my atheist classmate and tell him, if you don't say that Islam is the truth, I will dox your house address and send a SWAT team to you and threaten your kids? Of course not. But what I would do is try to engage in an يعني in a discussion built on proof. يعني I would try to prove to you that Islam is correct. طيب n- I I know that I can prove that Islam is correct through actual proof, through the Quran, through the Sunnah. I don't need to threaten your kids or so, right? And we don't need to go into this. Yani, if you want to go to the one audio that I talked about. But now, what I wanted to say in the start when I said that they cut the video out of context. The Shaykh, when he said that An-Nawawi doesn't know Allah Azza wa Jal, that is correct because knowing Allah is through His names, His asma, through His sifat, through His through His attributes. So if someone comes and denies the names uh, and the attributes of Allah, he says that Allah doesn't have a hand, Allah doesn't have a face, and so on. Then how can you say that he knows Allah? Because if you ask a Muslim who is Allah, he will tell you the names of Allah, he will tell you the attributes of Allah, he will tell you that Allah is on the throne, he will tell you that Allah has a face and Allah has a hand and Allah is uh, merciful and He hears and sees and so on, right? If you ask An-Nawawi about Allah Azza wa Jal, he will tell you the exact opposite of that. He is not on the throne. In fact, he's not in a place. He doesn't have a hand. He doesn't have a face. He doesn't hear. Yeah, of course they say they affirm hearing and seeing and knowledge and all of this, but as we said in the series of exposing the Ash'ara, they don't. Yeah, يعني they do affirm it, but they don't affirm it like the Muslims do. Um, but yeah, so this is basically that. So one always needs to see something in context and not just get emotionally driven to draw conclusions. And as we said, like Uthman Khamis did with the issue when he said that we burn Tafsir Ibn Kathir. So, and this is also a tactic that this group uses, is that they build upon the fact that they know that their followers will not check their sources. And this is literally why Sheikh Muhammad, if you know, he put in his videos like a timer on where on the title of the clip and when it was uploaded and what timestamp this is, so that if I cut something from it, you can go back to the original video and know the context and see that what I was saying was right. طيب, or what the Sheikh was saying is I was right. So what did they do? They just cut above that. Subhanallah. That alone shows you that he just wants to lie, right? Because if he wouldn't lie, or if he wouldn't cut something out of context, why would he need to remove that, right? Because then he shouldn't be afraid of you going back to the original video and seeing the context of what the Sheikh said. فالله Allah المستعان. Allah المستعان. This is definitely a big issue. And I just want to conclude with the fact that this issue is not about An-Nawawi, and it's not about Ibn Hajar, it's not about As-Suyuti, it's not about Al-Ghazali, it's not about Al-Razi, it's not about these people, it's not about Ibn Sina or Ibn Rushd or any of these people. Of course, all of these people are extremely deviant, but of course, not all of them are on the same degree, just to clarify. Yeah, as an example, Ibn Rushd is 60 times worse than Nawawi, right?
I can see
Or
that universe.
yeah, now. So
Dude straight up just believes Earth is forever and everything.
Allah understand. So the idea is, I'm not trying to say that they're all one degree, but what I'm trying to say is that they are all not Muslims. طيب? Uh, but yeah, so basically, as I said, this everything what I said, it's not about An-Nawawi, it's not about Ibn Hajar, it's not about us, it's not about our names, it's not about Sheikh Muhammad ibn Shamsuddin, it's not about Sheikh Al-Khalafi, it's not about يعني me or so. It is about the Salaf said the one who denies that Allah is on the throne is a kafir. This the Salaf takfir al-Jahm and Asher al-Marisi and so on, right? So they didn't takfir them, wallahi, because يعني now, as an example, if I was a scholar at the if I was a scholar of Islam at the time of Al-Jahm ibn Safwan, I'm not gonna think. I'm not just gonna wake up one day and say like, today I really feel like takfiring al-Jahm. Bro, no, The- takfir is something that is built on qawaid. It is built on rules. It has conditions that must be fulfilled and so on. It's not a game. Yeah, يعني some people today they think that takfir is a game. A lot of times in the place where I work, the people are not very religious people in that sense, right? They are Muslims, but they, normal people, يعني between the ages of 20 and 30, who, just like to joke and are not married, يعني, and so. So these people, this يعني people, they like to joke. So a lot of times they would say the words like kafir as a joke. And of course, يعني, inshallah Azza wa Jal, we always advise them against that and so on.
That's
But
insane. Like
yeah, I
there's a
know.
literal hadith
I
من
know,
كان
I know.
لأخيه يا كافر فقد باع بها أحدهم.
Yeah, Allah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. But yeah, so basically, what these people are trying to portray as that we just wake up one day, I'm drinking my coffee with my family, and I'm like, I just go to my family, and I'm like, yo, what about if we takfir today? Wait, should we takfir as-Suyuti or should we takfir an-Nawawi? It's not in that way, you know? This is something built on rules. يعني now, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, and of course I'm not going to say a name, but now if one of my mashayikh would come and say the same thing as an-Nawawi said, I would be the first one to go and takfir him. طيب? So the issue is with names. The issue is not with Nawawi. The issue is with what he said. We don't want people to be Ash'aris, and the reason why we warn people from reading the books of An-Nawawi and Ibn Hajar and so is because we don't want the people to fall into that which these people fell into. Yani, it's not like I live off takfiring an Ash'ari. It's not like I live off takfiring Alawi. It is that I want to clarify to people that what he said is not correct and that the Salaf clearly said that believing these stuff takes you outside of Islam. طيب. And now some people would come and tell Tab, you can't say he's a kafir, maybe he repented 25 milliseconds before he died. طيب, if he did do that, if he did repent, then may Allah forgive him. طيب, and may Allah have mercy on him. But until you can prove to me that he repented, we stay, and this is what we call on. This is one of the types for those who learn the يعني for those who learn the usul al-fiqh. This is that we call this is a type from that which we call al-istishaab, which is basically that, you know, if I pour water into a container or so, and this water is pure and the container is pure and it doesn't mix and so on, and I leave for like half an hour and then I come back, will I come and say, like, wallahi, it could be that a dog came and drank out of this, so it is not pure? No, because the default is that it stays upon that which I believe it is, or sorry, it stays upon that which I know it is until you can prove me that it's not. طيب. So if I would go back to that water and I would see it as it was, then I would stay and I would stick with saying that that is pure. But if I came and I found six dogs يعني drinking from it, I'm not gonna say, oh well, it could still be pure. No, because so this is the same thing. If An-Nawawi or Ibn Hajar or Al-Ghazali or Al-Razi or Ibn Sina or Ibn Rushd or Ibn Arabi or Pope Francis or these people, if they accepted Islam before they died, يعني the the basic idea that I'm trying to say is that if anyone dies on Islam, then we we will go and make dua for him and so on. But now, if you would prove to me that one of the scholars that we read his books of, that he left Islam before he died, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, then we would be the first people to, uh, you know, warn about that. So what I'm trying to say is the idea is not about people. The idea is not about An-Nawawi, or it's not about not about Sheikh Muhammad or so. And also one more thing I want to say is that subhanallah, as we said in the start, the people who respond to us are different groups, يعني. But from some groups, like the group of Uthman al-Khamis, and bro, I'm probably just gonna title this يعني responding to Uthman Khamis, because like literally 60% of the time I was speaking about Uthman Khamis. Or I'm probably just taking him as an example the entire time because I was from his or he was from my mashayikh, so that's probably why I think about him a lot in this context. Yeah.
Do you still study from him or not really?
No, 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 I don't.
Oh, okay, you
Um,
can. Okay, makes sense.
yeah. So basically, those groups of or that group يعني as we said, the groups that respond to us are not the same. So that group, they when they come to me, uh, no, sorry, when they come to An-Nawawi or Ibn Hajar or Al-Ghazali, they say they were scholars and they did ijtihad and so, and their excuse and so on, which are all things, of course, that we responded to in this. Um, طيب, then they, subhanallah, uh, and then if they come to a person who is a student of An-Nawawi or so, and he has the exact same beliefs, like Al-Kawthari, like Sayyid, like Sayyid, like Sayyid قطب, or like هذا حسن البخاري, or like Saeed Foda, or like Ali Jum'a, or like Ahmed al-Tayyib, or like Osama al-Azhari, or anyone, or like Al Buti, or like Muhammad al-Ghazali or so. They say the same things like a Nawawi. But why, when it comes to them, you say these guys are kuffar and don't take from them? And when it comes to An-Nawawi, you say this is Al-Imam Al-Nawawi. طيب, and on the other hand, when we go back, why do when we speak about Bishr Al-Marrisi and Al-Jahm, you say these يعني لعنة الله عليهم, these big kuffar, may Allah Azza wa Jal curse them and so on. And when it comes to those who literally say the same thing as them, you say this is Al Imam al Nawawi. So this is the issue. And of course, I always say go back to my series of exposing the Ash'ari. I also responded there to a lot of other things. I responded to if the Ash'ari can be called Jahmiya. I responded to that as well when the video that I referenced before, the video where I responded to that brother, that the Dawood. I responded to those who said, and when Uthman Khamis said this as well, bro, someone should count all of the times where I said the Uthman Khamis. But yeah, I also made a video where I responded to what Uthman Khamis said about the Mu'tazila and the Asha'ira, that they're excused because they wanted to glorify Allah and so on. So you can find all of that, inshallah Azza wa Jal, on the channel. And I will make a playlist basically with all of my responses to this group, those who love the Asha'ira. So yeah, I guess this would be
So
it. Is there
can
anything else?
just one, yeah, one more thing from Sayut. You just reminded me. Remember that clip that people cut and where Sheikh Muhammad Shamsuddin, he's saying something about Sayuti and he praises him like or something. I don't know. Have you seen that clip?
Uh,
I
he
have to find it, but basically
praises.
someone no, he doesn't praise it like praise him exactly. So what happens is someone says something and he says something with them. I think it was an anger or something. I don't know. And people say, "Oh, look, see, this is he's praising Suyuti and everything." It's like, what? But let me. I'll find it if I can. But anyways, you can just answer it on private, inshallah. It's not an issue.
طيب, inshallah. But
I'll
I
try to
don't know
find it.
really what you're talking about. But as
Okay,
well
I'll try
about
to.
As-Suyuti as-Suyuti was an Ash'ari Jahmi, and in
He
addition
was
to
a
that,
Khariji, right?
he huh?
He's a Khariji, right?
Well, he was everything. He would write books that are not that good as well. He would write books about uh 18 plus things, if
Oh
we
no, wait. I
keep it at
remember.
that.
Sorry, it was Trefi. It was Trefi.
طريفي.
Yeah. So basically, someone tells something to Muhammad Shamsuddin and he says Trefi is Jayyid or something like that.
ايه طيب. So what?
Um, s- oh, yeah, not Trefi. I
طيب,
think
look,
he excuses
Jid,
Zabiha to someone else,
your
something like
sound
that,
is
and he doesn't find it shirk or something. Can you hear
والله
now?
look. طيب
Yeah.
والله الشيخ, the Sheikh,
Yeah.
what do you mean طريفي doesn't find something should what?
So I saw this one video or something, and where Turaifi, he said that asking dua to someone other Ghairullah is not shirk. He doesn't find it shirk or something like that.
أيوة طيب,
Yeah,
this
you've seen the
issue.
video, right?
Now, this issue, it doesn't have to do anything with this, but there's basically
Mm.
a difference, a difference of opinion between the scholars for the one who goes to a person's grave and he asks the guy in the grave to make dua to Allah to forgive his sins. So
Mm.
of course, all of the scholars agree that if someone goes to a grave and asks the dead guy to forgive his sins, then of course that guy is a mushrik. طيب.
Mm.
But when when we have someone who goes to the grave and asks the guy in the grave to ask Allah to forgive him, then here some scholars said that it is shirk, and some scholars said that this is yani from the innovations or from the kaba'ir, but it is not shirk. طيب,
but
يعني it
but
doesn't
then you
take you
don't have.
outside of Islam.
But you do have dalil in the Quran when Allah says in Surah Al-Jinn, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Right?
طيب, وأن المساجد لله فلا تدعوا مع الله
أحدا.
أحدا.
Yeah.
They they the ones who said that this doesn't take you outside of Islam said that here he is not making dua to the dead guy, but
Mm.
rather he believes that the dead guy, he يعني will that he can hear him, and he will ask Allah to forgive his sins. يعني they said that they that he's not making dua to the dead guy, but rather that he is uh, making dua to Allah through the dead guy. So this is basically that which they built it on.
So it is still shirk,
Uh,
but that doesn't take you out of Islam, correct?
no, so as we said, some scholars said that it is shirk, and some said that it is just an innovation يعني, but
I see.
it is not shirk. And from those that said that, as you know, of course, is الطريفي, and Sheikh Mohammed says that as well, and Sheikh Al-Khlefi says that as well, and Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen says that as well, as it as it is in his sharh of of اقتضاء الصراط المستقيم of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, right? So, but in the books of the scholars of al-Da'wah and النجدية, like the book كشف ما ألقاه إبليس من البهرج والتلبيس على قلب داود بن جرجيس, we see that they said that it is shirk. طيب, and they said that the one who does that he is a kafir. And honestly, from the speech of Ibn Taymiyyah, you could understand both sides. Yani it could be that he said one view and then he said a different view. But in some places in his speech, you feel like he says that it's shirk, and some places you feel like that he says that it's not shirk. So, I don't really know what Ibn Taymiyyah died upon on this issue. But yeah, this is basically that issue.
Okay, that's good. Inshallah, I think that's more than enough. To be honest, I'll send you the clip if I do find it. I don't really have it, but I have to find it. Inshallah.
I know what you're speaking about. But
Mm.
one thing you need to know as well is Sheikh Muhammad. Back then, he was a little affected uh, by the way of the Khawarij. يعني he
Mm.
was not a Khariji, but he was affected by them in a
Some
little way.
elements
نعم نعم, which is why
make
he
sense.
said يعني that Sayyid Qutb is good, and so in that same clip, which of course
Mm.
is not correct, but Alhamdulillah he left that يعني now, and
Yeah, he's changed a lot.
he
I've seen
he
his
doesn't say that.
previous videos. He used to look a little bit fat. Mashallah, he lost some weight as well. It's really good. Have you seen
والله
his new videos and everything? It's really good.
والله the Sheikh
Yeah.
يعني Allah هم بارك, he should like give us a يعني tutorial on
Oh
the
yeah,
way
100%.
to lose fat, bro. Allah understand.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, no,
Allah
inshallah. And
understand.
he speaks really fast, bro. That's the thing. Like he speaks so fast, you have no idea like what he says. Sometimes, yani, I listen to him, and
But I
then
will tell you,
as I'm listening, he'll drop the Shami dialect. I'm like, bro, what? What did he say? Because
I
I
will
don't know
tell
any
you one
dialect, right?
thing
And
about the
he'll
Sheikh.
just drop the dialect, and I'm like, bro, what?
Uh, I will tell you يعني, two things about the Sheikh.
Yeah.
One thing that we've said before in this is that, we don't care if you listen to the Sheikh or not, but what we want is that you accept the way of the Salaf and
Oh yeah.
read the books of the Salaf and so on. طيب. But one thing I will say is that one who doesn't listen to the Sheikh, he will lose out on a lot,
Mm.
because the Sheikh has a very unique way of teaching. Yani, every Sheikh has his own way of teaching, right? Yani, there is always uh,
Yeah,
elements you'll find in the classes of a Sheikh that you'll not find in the classes of a different Sheikh. And now, as an
I
example,
agree.
in the classes of Sheikh. Now, as example, in the classes of Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, you will find that he, to a very large extent, takes care about the Arabic language and explaining that. And so, if we go to the classes of Sheikh Sa'd al-Shathri, you'll find that uh, when he teaches a book in يعني أصول الفقه, he doesn't read the book itself,
Mm.
but he comments based on the contents of it. Or if we go to يعني, right? So what I'm trying to say is that every sheikh has his own way, and I'm gonna be honest, the way of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Shamsuddin for beginners is probably one of the best ways, along with the way of Sheikh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr, يعني the way of Sheikh Abdul Razzaq, as well as that he repeats that which was said in the book, but in different words, and he gives different examples on it, and so,
Mm.
right. So what I was trying to say is that you are the one who will lose out if you don't benefit from the classes of the sheikh, because he makes it so easy to understand. Wallahi al-azim, that there are books, and as an example, I can't go into detail about this, but there are some classes about that I or some topics where I listened to tens of classes. I read like six books in it, and I still did not understand this one issue. And then when I listened to the sharh of the sheikh in it, it was like day, bro. It was like I was asleep, and I just like got يعني, out of bed. So
No, I agree
so
because
the
I see
eh,
the videos and everything now, and I think like he has a way of explaining things which is like very nice, I would say. It's
نعم
actually really,
يعني
yeah, like the way he explains, and sometimes people ask him dumb question, and then he's just gonna make fun of them or like joke actually make fun of
نعم
the question,
نعم
not really the people. He's gonna make fun of the
نعم
question himself. Like today
نعم
in the live, I asked him, yeah, and I heard that you're Haddadi. He's like, I don't Haddadi. I don't get sick. Iron doesn't get sick. I'm like,
أيوة أيوة.
yeah, actually, his way is really nice and everything. Yeah,
and
but
and of course that response is also built upon because that
mm,
he has responded to that
I see.
question so many times that he doesn't want to do that again. But basically as well, the sheikh, when he comes to explaining a book, he really cares about making it as simple as he can, right? uh, and as well, one thing about the sheikh is he's completely different. يعني, when you talk to him, it is as if you're talking to someone else. يعني, when you listen to his classes,
Is his classes
you
free and everything, or like how?
ايش
Are the classes free?
نعم نعم, they
Oh,
are
okay, okay, okay.
on
But they're in Arabic, right?
on the channel. Huh.
They're in Arabic only, right?
نعم.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, because bro, the issue is I do understand him, but he speaks. First of all, he speaks really fast. That is an issue. Second, he mixes
Mhm.
the Levant dialect, which I don't understand at all, frankly. So that's the main issue. Like he'll use like words like khun or stuff
Uh,
like that, So I'm like, bro,
uh, uh,
what's happening?
but
Well,
يعني
okay. So one more thing, last thing,
تفضل.
just what about I saw this one photo from someone. He's like, see, Sheikh Salih Fawzan wrote some names of people on the letter or something, warning them, and the name of Shamsuddin is there and everything. What do you think about this? Have you heard this triple claim?
I don't know about this honestly.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, okay.
know what you mean.
Yeah, because I heard someone or I saw someone. He's like, oh yeah, Sheikh Fawzan warned against him and everything. I'm like, dude, what?
I
He's
mean, but
praised by
look,
the scholars. Like,
even now, if Sheikh Salih Al Fawzan came and said that Muhammad bin Shamsuddin is bad,
mm,
the weight, the weight of the speech of a scholar lays in the fact that he is a that he is a scholar, and he will base what he says upon the knowledge.
Jalil.
So
Yep.
نعم, so if Sheikh Salih Al Fawzan comes and says something against anyone, if he comes and says something against a Jahmi, we would want him to come and prove to us why he is wrong. Yani now, and this is the same thing that I said. Yani now, when we respond to a Nawawi or so, we say a Nawawi is deviant because he said this and Allah said this. Yani because a Nawawi said that Allah is not on the throne and Allah said that he is on the throne. Yani so now it's clear why he is wrong. But when someone, I come to you and I ask you, what do you think about this guy? And you're just like, no, he's bad. Yani you could take my word for it, but I didn't give you any proof. So yeah, of course, if it's a big scholar like Sheikh Salih Al Fawzan, maybe for the one who doesn't know that person, I mean, maybe it's best to stay away from that guy, right? But me, especially if the Sheikh now came to me and told me that I shouldn't, and actually this thing occurred to me. I was with one of my mashayikh here in and he basically, I told him that I was a student of the sheikh, and so he told me that he was a haddadi, and so basically in the end it turned out that that my sheikh, yani he heard people, he was from the group of people where we said that he hears and he doesn't make sure of what he said. And so I clarified it to him and so on. But in short, what I'm trying to say is that when I asked him why he was warning against the sheikh, he couldn't give me a real reason. So this is what made me realize that his warning was not built upon knowledge. Yes, he is a sheikh and he is my sheikh and so on, but his warning wasn't built upon knowledge. طيب. And of course, I'm not comparing my sheikh to Salih Al Fawzan. So, but you get what I'm trying to say. Now, before we end, also I wanted to tell you, wallahi, the sheikh in his classes he might come off as very, let's say, like confident or so, and he definitely is, right? But when you speak to him in a private way, he's a very shy person. He doesn't like to speak, which is insane to think. He is not the type of person who likes to speak. Which, to be fair, I'm like this as well. If you listen to my classes or my responses to Ash'aris or so, you'll find I get very aggressive, uh, or I can speak for a long time. But when you speak to me in real life, I'm gonna be shy. But still, for it to be with the sheikh, I recall the first time I met the sheikh, bro. I was shocked of how calm he was. Wallahi, he was not to say that I thought that he was like a- angry or so. Of course not. Don't
You met
don't
Shamsuddin?
get me
You
wrong.
actually met this,
No,
you met Sheikh?
no, no.
Oh,
نعم.
no way. Where?
uh,
Where?
in Germany يعني
Oh,
you
no
you
way.
know that.
He
Yeah, bro.
wait, what? Where does he? Oh, he lives in Germany, right? Yeah, he lives in Germany. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I'm
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
German,
He
bro.
used to live
You
in Syria.
forgot
He's
that
from
I'm
Syria,
German.
right? Yeah, bro. I know of bro. I know you're
Yeah.
German. I said he's from Syria, right?
نعم نعم.
Yeah, he's from Syria. Yeah, I
So
could tell from the dialect. Yeah,
yeah.
the way he speaks. Yeah, yeah.
But wallahi, the Sheikh is such a nice guy. Wallahi,
I
he's
see.
so calm and he's so friendly and يعني Allah المستعان. Wallahi al-Azim. Of course, it feels bad to know what these people are doing to your Sheikh.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's actually kind of bad
when
because it's
you
slander. Like it
eh
shouldn't be done, and everything is
no
buhtan. Yani it's not just slander; it's
no
buhtan. And
no.
these people they're jahil. Yeah,
But when you see it being done against a guy who's so nice and who is so friendly, it is worse. It is worse
because bro,
than just
like
because
I'll be very
yeah,
honest. Like
or
every
it
guy, other
adds
guy I meet,
sold to the
yeah,
wound. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Like every time I see a guy, he's like, "Oh, you like something? Oh, he's Haddadi." This that.
Allah
Like, bro,
understand.
like calm down, bro. Like you don't have any proof. You don't show anything and everything, and you're just like making claims. That's why I was like, bro. Every other guy is saying, "Let me get this clarified." You know what? What even is this issue?
Allah understand.
Yeah, but and also I saw his video upon refuting Haddadi. If you actually see his channel, he has made so many videos upon them.
Yeah. لا
Since
الله المستعان. These people
by
يعني
the way,
they don't
check
have any
WhatsApp. I
proof.
sent something to you. Check your WhatsApp.
Inshallah.
You, you're
But
gonna
as I
laugh
said,
on
these
this
people
one.
they don't have any. Allah
Yeah,
understand. Allah understand.
yeah, you're gonna
Yani
laugh
may
on
Allah
this
guide
one.
these people.
Not just him, but yeah.
May Allah guide
Yeah,
these
I
people.
mean, like these
Wallahi.
people. Okay, the issue is they don't understand that someone can be in error as well, right? Obviously, humans are humans, and also Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that kullu bani adam khata wa khairul khata'in tawba'in, right? Tawba'in. So
Nah,
we should always keep in mind that every person can make an error, be it Shamsuddin, be it Ibn Taymiyyah, be it anyone, and we have to like focus on the correctness as well, and we have to focus that the akida and everything. Of course, if the akida is sound, then the other mistakes in ijtihad can obviously be excused, because that is
nah,
not
nah,
as you always said the first thing, which is there's no ijtihad in akida, and which is
nah,
obviously true. Because if the akida is sound, then other mistakes can be overlooked because it can be classified as ijtihad.
nah.
That
And
is
this is why
that's the first
scholars
thing.
like
Yeah.
this is why scholars of the Salaf like Harb al-Kirmani and so they said that that there is no taqlid uh, or sorry that the deen is to make taqlid of the scholars of the
Hmm.
Salaf and so and he means that you make taqlid of course yes to a certain degree as well in fiqh but when he used the word taqlid here he didn't use it the the scholars of usul al-fiqh do. No, he
Mm.
used that word to say that in aqidah
Akida.
you you follow the sayings of the salaf and you say that which
What they
they
said.
said.
Yep.
Of course, as well it applies to fiqh. Yeah, يعني it applies to fiqh. Um, it applies to fiqh that of course يعني if in one certain issue in tahara or salah there are like three views between the salaf, I'm not going to come and say there's a fourth view, right? But I can make my own ijtihad for those three views and then find out which one of them is the yani correct or which one of them I see as correct here. So يعني Allah understand this is يعني in short.
Yeah, bro, exactly. But yeah, honestly, bro, I'm like the biggest thing is like forgetting all this. Alhamdulillah, I wanted to make dua for me as well. because bro, people, they don't realize that how big blessing is Arabic. And like
والله.
understanding the scholars in Arabic itself is a huge deal. And I've been noticing
والله.
this myself, right? Because of, at this point, I do understand, which is like the first things people genuinely don't realize, like, because the thing is, like, the most of the Ummah is not really Arab, right?
No.
15% maybe, 20% maybe is Arab. And if only they could access this knowledge about these scholars, which are in Arabic only, would be really, really great. But these people sadly don't want to put the effort in. Like maybe you
No.
could do an
No.
episode on this one. What do you think about this idea?
Yani there's generally a big neglect for seeking knowledge
Oh,
in
100%.
the deen.
100%.
Yani people, they will, before they buy a car, they will check everything in the car. They will check
Yeah.
the engine 16 times and check the
Yeah.
color and the screen and so on. But for the deen, they don't really care. Yani Allah,
I
Allah
agree. It's
understand.
actually very bad. And
May
the and
Allah
the issue is,
protect
like,
us.
if only people understood that how Arabic is actually in our times today, where Muslims are being attacked from Myanmar to India to Pakistan. Literally every other country is hating upon Muslims. Like every other country you go in the world is literally hating on Muslims.
Hey,
And at this
look
point
at the
where
West.
we are in such, yeah, exactly. Look at the West, look at Germany. France is banning hijab, niqab, everything. Germany
Uh,
doesn't like Muslims, the West doesn't like Muslims. USA is like going Zionist, pro Zionist, everything. Like all
yeah.
these issues, people don't realize how important at this point is for the ayn, I would say, upon every individual to learn Arabic and to understand the asal of the deen, rather than just learning. Because English, bro, I'll be honest with you, I used to think the same. Oh, ulema did this, I just have the translation, I'll be fine, stuff like that. But when I did reach that one point where you can't learn anything anymore without Arabic, I was like, bro, the deen in Arabic is only like 1%, 2%, maybe 5%, and 70-80% is still locked away in Arabic.
Yeah.
People really need to focus on this. I'm assuming,
No
like,
understand.
even this channel, I would say most of the people are Arab, I would assume, because obviously we post stuff in Arabic as well, right?
But يعني I very specifically have an English Telegram and an
Yeah.
Arabic Telegram. There's a lot of people here that I know that they are like,
Hmm.
they are reverts who don't know uh, Arabic yet. يعني. So
Yeah.
they follow me because they're trying to seek knowledge while they learn
Yeah.
Arabic and so. So
Oh
يعني,
yeah,
this is
that's
the
100% good.
purpose of
I agree
Allah
with
to
you. Yeah,
channel.
yeah, yeah. No, I would say if you really want to do like a video or something for advising people who are learning Arabic, if you want to like do that and include my advice in that to the people, because I did it myself, bro. الحمد لله أنا أتكلم عربية بطلاقة الحمد لله.
Yeah, bro. We could
الآن
definitely do
أتكلم
this, inshallah.
بالفصحى. Yeah, exactly. أتكلم بالفصحى بغير مشكلة الحمد لله. So this is like something I would,
Alhamdulillah.
if you want to do this, then I can advise people my advice, which is that how they can
Inshallah.
learn Arabic. Because I remember even you told me that study with Medina books, which was a very good idea, and I did study that. I did do it, by the way. Do you know that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
you remember last
Alhamdulillah.
year, I think you told me to study Medina books, or I think it was Haytham, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And I did it last year, and I finished Medina books in like 5 months.
Alhamdulillah. Wallahi, I never really
Insane,
had
bro.
the I never really because of my background and because of
Yeah,
يعني
yeah, yeah.
Kuwait and so on. I never really needed to study Arabic يعني
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah يعني because
It's
I
a
did
big
as
blessing,
a child
bro.
yeah. But so when I
Yeah.
started when I started to seek knowledge, and we could definitely speak about this a different
Yeah,
day. And
inshallah.
my story, what
Yeah, I would
led
love
me
to hear that.
to seek knowledge and so on. I think that would be something that, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla, could yani inspire people and so.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I agree.
Allah
But I would,
understand.
yeah, I would
But
agree with that
basically,
as well. And I would think the first thing upon, like, okay, the first thing is the biggest thing for a student of knowledge is you really can't be a student of knowledge if you don't understand Arabic. If you can't access
exactly,
the
yes,
Islamic, the Arabic is the number one thing that is the tool of a student of knowledge. You can't be a student of knowledge without Arabic.
yes, bro.
That's the basics.
I
That's the
wanna
minimum.
I want to tell you. I want to tell there are literally German and
Mm.
British and French kuffar
Yeah,
Christians who literally learned Arabic because they did like Islamic studies at a university in like Berlin or so.
that's
So it's
insane.
like, bro, you are a Muslim. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
how how can you let a kafir
Beat you.
learn
Yeah,
or
exactly. In your
yani
own
do that
language.
and you subhanallah.
Arabic is the language. See, Fusha, Al Fusha is the language of Islam. It's not the language of Arabs. People don't understand this.
ايوه
Al Fusha is not the
subhanallah.
language of Egyptians or Iraqi or maybe Saudi. No, Al Fusha is the language of Imam Bukhari. He was from Bukhara. It's the language of
No,
it's the language of Sahabi like Bilal radiallahu anh, or maybe Shu'aib, radiallahu anh, maybe Salman al-Farsi. They
no,
were not Arabs, radiallahu anh. They were
no,
Sahaba who were Muslims and they spoke Fusha. So people
no.
understand as, oh, Arabic, oh, only Arabs should know it. Like, no, bro, that's not how it is.
Yeah, and this is why I'm against really translating the Quran to other languages in the way that it's done
Same.
today. Yani I go more for the approach of like, yes, of course we should translate of course they're not translations, but like uh tafsir of the Quran on English and so it makes some Muslims feel like we have it, we don't need to learn A- Arabic yani,
Bro,
but
let me
they
ask
are
you this.
missing out on so much
Exactly.
reward and meaning
Bro, not
that
just
they will
reward,
not
bro. The
get
deep
unless they know that.
the deep layer. Let me give you an example, okay? The word Salah and Salah, okay, they are the same root. But Allah uses
No,
فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ, where it means to pray.
no,
Okay.
صح.
Then Allah uses
ايوه
it sayasla naran. Okay, same root. How does one become fire? One
صحيح.
becomes the pray. So that's the thing, bro. People will miss out on
سبحان
this.
الله.
Another example I would say is that when Allah says in the Quran, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Nahar. Nahar is not
No,
just slaughter. There's a big difference in zabiha. Zabiha means slaughter, zabaha. And nahar means the slaughter of a camel below the neck. There's a big difference.
no,
You know, People
no,
will
no,
miss this detail in English because English doesn't have a verb for camel slaughter. There's no verb for camel slaughter. That's the thing.
no,
So this is why, like I would say, Arabic is so important that people
no,
miss,
no.
especially for non-Arabs. Because I'll tell you something. Who was the greatest grammarian? Sebo Abe. Was he Arab? No. See,
سيبويه.
Sibabe, exactly. He was not Arab. He was the best grammarian. So non-Arabs, once they actually learn Fusha and they get into it,
No,
they're actually better than Arabs in sometimes. Not always,
correct.
obviously. It's sometimes they're often better than Arabs. I have a Syrian
No.
friend, bro. I know like 7, 8 words for camel, and he's like, "Oh, bro, I only know like Jamal. That's it." Yeah,
as well like the word
bro.
for lion يعني الأسد
Lion, bro. Asad,
والقسورة and
bro.
all of these.
Exactly. Life,
سبحان الله.
Durgam, Haidara, Kaswara. You have so many words for lion as well. People will miss
نعم.
this detail. For even in the Quran, when Allah uses naqqatun for the remember the camel which was given
م-
to, I think it was Saleh
م-
alayhi Islam. I think it was, I don't know
م-
exactly. The she
ناقة
camel.
الله.
Yeah, exactly.
ايه
Naqqatullah. So that's a female camel. It's not just a camel. It's a female, specifically only female. That's it. It's a muannath. People miss this detail.
شي كانوا يعني.
Yeah,
نعم.
exactly. Same way when Allah says, أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ كَيْفَ إِبْلِ خُلِقَتْ. So that ibl is not just camel,
أفلا
it means a group
ينظرون
of camel.
إلى
إِبْلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ.
الإبل كيف
Exactly. Yeah.
خلقت. نعم.
So that verb there, the word for camel, ibil, is not just a single camel, it's a group of camel. So
نعم.
people miss this detail because they haven't studied Arabic, bro. I keep telling people,
الله
listen, bro,
المستعان.
learn Arabic. Wallahi, I'll be honest with you, bro. I have a friend. It's a very nice guy, Pakistani guy, mashallah. Um, the Urdu speakers, I have given them something. I compiled a note. Basically, I compiled a PDF where almost I have written down 300 words from Arabic that are same in Urdu. Same, exact digital copy. And
اللهم بارك.
we and me and you both know how the root system in Arabic works. One word, one root can generate up to 10 to 15 words that you can use at least. Okay. So
نعم.
those 300 words become at least 4,000 words. That's a very
Yeah.
big vocabulary bank for Urdu speakers.
Subhanallah.
If you look at it, for a beginner, from words
Sahih.
like dakhala, kharaja to zabaha, all these verbs are same in Urdu. We use the same verbs every single day.
Yeah.
Mashgul, kabila, killa, all these words we use the same. Inqilab, zirafa, etc., zaman, makan, manzil. Bro, these
Yeah.
people don't understand. I have a friend. I have been advising. Listen, Akhil, you'll make money in your life. Okay, money will come later on. Okay, you won't have time later on. As you grow older, your memory and your brain capacity lowers down every year.
No.
You have to focus on Arabic. It's just yani Allah understand, they don't really understand this importance, sadly.
One really has to use his young brain before it gets old,
I
if
agree.
you can say it in
I
this way.
agree. A
No.
kid learns the language very quickly. Why? Because he's a kid in his first language. Same way Arabic. If you pick it up early upon in the life, it's gonna be easier for you than learning later on. It is possible later on, but I would suggest when you're in like 18, 19, 20s, you can literally learn it in like 1 year. Brother, I did it in 9 months. Come on, bro. People, you can't do it in 1 year, one
No.
and a half year. Come on, bro. I'm Indian, bro. I don't even have any connection with Arabic. Okay, actually I do, but actually I do, but still. But yeah,
Allah
like,
understand.
bro, if I can do it in 9 months, if I can do it in 9 months, who am I, bro? I'm nothing. Okay, like
No.
I'm nobody. If I can do it in 9 months, people, brothers, you can do it, and you can, but you just need the right guidance. That's it.
Yeah.
I've seen one brother. I told him, "Oh, you're learning Arabic." He's like, "Yeah, yeah." Brother has been learning for 2 years. I sent him a very small clip of Shaykh Uthaymeen saying that "Man sab Allah, fahuwa laysa kafir." كيف كان كافر وهو يسب Allah, etc. Like basic explanation, right? And he's not able to understand. I'm like, brother, you have been learning Arabic for 2 years. How can't you understand this? Because you've been
Subhanallah.
focusing on you've been focusing on grammar, Arab, damir muttasil, this, that. Like, bro, if you keep learning grammar, you won't understand stuff.
نعم يعني no, you should learn grammar after
Exactly.
you know basic words يعني.
Exactly. Bro, let me ask you, when a kid learns a language, a kid doesn't know what Damir Muttasil is. You, when you were a kid, you didn't knew what Damir Muttasil is. You didn't knew what
Of course.
Arab
نعم.
is. You just
نعم.
speak,
نعم.
you just hear, you copy, you make mistakes. When you grow up,
نعم.
you learn grammar. You're like, oh,
You
this is
learn.
what
نعم.
the rule means. Simple. I did the same thing,
نعم.
bro. I focused on vocabulary. I focused on basic grammar, sentence structure. I left the grammar. Okay, now I'm learning grammar. Nahu al-Wadi, Ajrumiya, all this stuff is later on, bro. It's for polishing,
النحو
you know?
الواضح
Yeah,
أيوة.
exactly. I have to study that. Nahu al-Wadi. Yeah. Funny thing,
How
I
is it?
will.
I've
I have to study
I've
it, Akhi. I have
never
to
read
study
it.
it. I have to study it. I'm gonna study it. I'll let you know how it is. It is actually,
نعم.
yeah, I have a course. If you want, you can have a look, but it's really good. By the way, funny thing, the
Sheikh
word wade,
Muhammad,
yeah,
Sheikh Muhammad, he has also a course. It's not really like Nahu or so, but it's like
yeah,
he basically gives like basic introduction into all of the sciences of the Arabic
uh,
language.
I see, I see.
نحو صرف
Makes sense.
بديع
I did do a surf book,
بلاغة
by
and
the
so
way.
on.
I did a surf
Yeah,
book recently.
very nice.
I just finished a surf book.
اللهم
The
بارك
surf
bro.
book was really good. Alhamdulillah, I
صرف
actually finished.
is
I actually finished it today.
doing صرف before النحو is insane.
No, it is easy actually. It's actually easy. Nahu is difficult.
والله.
Yeah, wallah. No, Nahu is more difficult. Yes.
Okay,
Surf? No, no, let me tell you why. Because let me tell you
that's not
something.
what most people told me.
No, 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 no. From my view, I find surf way easier because surf is awzan. Okay, wasn't, and it's upon the scales
ايوه
of
طيب.
the
Okay,
language, of how
okay,
the
yeah, yeah,
language
yeah.
works, right?
I
So
know what you
Nahu
mean.
is very different because Nahu has more exceptions. Yani, for example,
ايوه
let me
نعم.
give you an example.
نعم. نعم.
Uh, لن نترك صراط
Memorization.
المستقيم أبدا. Exactly, sir. Now you have to memorize the matan more. For example, أجرمية,
نعم.
right? أجرمية, you have to memorize the matan, etc. etc. It's really difficult on the side of things. Surf is easier because once you understand the pattern and you find the root, you can make 20 words. For example, kataba. You can say kitab, katib, kataib, maktub, maktab, maktiba. So many words. So that's the benefit
نعم.
of learning the surf. You can understand way more things with surf. But I did send you a channel, by
By
the
the
way.
way,
That channel has,
I re-
if you want to watch, yeah.
I recommend you as well. There's a sheikh called Sheikh Suleiman al
Mm-hmm.
عيوني. I don't know if you know him. He has great شروحات. He has his own
Interesting.
book called النحو الصغير.
Okay.
A very basic explanation on نحو. He also has a شرح of of قطر and
Mm-hmm.
he also has his own book الصرف الصغير. And so يعني
I see.
you should definitely check him out إن شاء الله عز
Inshallah,
وجل.
I'll check it out, inshallah. But also, bro, it's time for Asr. Inshallah, I'll go because I don't want to miss Asr. But
إن
inshallah, bro,
شاء
we
الله.
can we can talk, bro. It's always fun to talk to you, inshallah. It's really, really good.
الله يبارك فيك.
And yeah, if you want to record something for people learning Arabic, and you can let me know. I have one question for you, Aki. I have a brother whose mother actually got cancer. May Allah
نعم
grant her shifa. If you want to collect some money for her, you can let me know. I'll give you the contact of the brother, and if you want to do it or something. Because
إن
he
شاء
asked
الله.
me, and I felt really bad because I'm in a bad position as well. I don't really have a lot of money. I'm finding job as well.
طيب إن شاء الله إن شاء
So
الله
if
إن
you
شاء
want to
الله
gather some money for that, inshallah, may Allah reward you for that.
إن شاء الله we will إن شاء الله عز وجل.
Inshallah. Okay. I'll let you know as well. Okay.
بارك الله فيك.
Okay. Jazakallah,
إن
brother.
شاء
Take care.
الله
Yeah.
إن شاء الله we will have a lot more of these يعني
Inshallah.
live streams إن شاء
No,
الله.
I'll join more now because the reason I couldn't join is I was like, bro, I don't know Arabic. I'm not gonna understand anything. There's no point
الله
of me joining.
المستعان.
Yeah, like bro,
الله
what I do?
المستعان.
I'm just sitting in the rules and I don't understand anything. There's no point. But now
نعم
inshallah I'll try to join only if you speak Fusha, bro. I don't understand your dialect and stuff,
إن
okay?
شاء الله
Don't
عز
don't
وجل.
don't like inshallah, brother, yeah.
بارك الله فيك.
Take care, brother. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, okay? Jazakallah
وعليكم
khairan, bro. May
السلام.
Allah reward you for this.
آمين وياك.
Okay. Take
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
care.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.